I've gone back and forth about posting this for months, but every time I begin to type it, I start hearing that sound again. The way my name was dragged across those trees, stretched thin, like someone wearing my voice but don't know how to use it yet. I don't expect anyone to believe me, and honestly, I hope you don't. This happened last winter in northern Minnesota, in a land so remote that Google Maps loses confidence halfway through the drive. I was there for work. Wildlife survey, tracking deer migration patterns for a conservation contract, solo assignment. 2 weeks in a cabin owned by the state. No cell service, no neighbors, no railroads after mile marked 113. The kind of place where silence doesn't feel peaceful, it feels observant. First few days was uneventful. Snow deeper than my knees. Trees packed tight like a wall. No wind, but the branches still crack as if something heavy was sitting above them. The first strange sign I noticed was the tracks. They weren't deer tracks. I know deer tracks. I've followed them for years. These were too wide, too deep. Whatever made them was heavy, unnaturally heavy. But the strides were wrong. Too long, too confident. Like they didn't stumble, like they didn't hesitate. So I took some photos, measured the impressions, tried to rationalize it. Maybe it was a bear with frosted distortion. Maybe overlapping prints. Still, I felt watched the entire time I was there. The forest wasn't quiet, it was holding its breath. That night, I heard footsteps outside the cabin. Slow, measured, crunching snow directly beneath the window. I grabbed my flashlight and my rifle, heart pounding. I cracked the door half open, expecting to see a deer spooked at the scent of food. I cracked the door open, just enough to see the tree lines. And then, nothing. No tracks near the door, no broken snow, just absent. At 2 a.m., there was a knock on the door. Not a bang, not a scratch, just 3 deliberate knock, knock, knock. I did not answer, I froze. I did not breathe. After a full minute, I heard movement retreating into the forest. But it wasn't steps, it was dragging. The next morning, the smell hit me before anything else. Rot, old meat, wet iron. I followed it against my better judgment. Rifle ready, every instinct in me screamed, turn back, turn back. But I didn't listen. The trees thinned until a small clearing. That's where I found the deer, or what was left of it. It'd been open, not torn apart like an animal unalived. No chaos, no frenzy. The ribs were peeled back neatly, like hands had done it. The organs were gone. The head was still attached, eyes frozen wide, tongue missing. And the strange part is, the snow around it was untouched. No tracks leading in, no tracks leading out. That night, it started talking. At first, I thought it was the wind, until I heard it say my name. Not shouting, not whispering. Spoken the way someone would say it as if they were standing right behind you. Close enough that you could feel their breath, but stretched wrong. Syllables saying like wet fabric. Dan. I didn't answer. The voice tried again. I know you. Barricade the door with a table, kill all the lights, and sat in complete silence until dawn. Listening to something circling the cabin, I could hear it sniffing, scratching, occasionally laughing. Not human laughter, but an imitation, like it had heard people do it before and decided it was appropriate. On the 4th night, it knocked again. This time, it spoke clearly. Let me in. I'm cold. The voice sounded like my brother who lives 3 states away. That's when I understood something important. It wasn't hunting me because it was hungry. It was curious. The final encounter happened when I tried to leave early. My truck wouldn't start. The battery completely died. I opened the hood swearing when I heard movement behind me. Too fast, too heavy to be a deer. I turned around. It stood at the edge of the trees. Tall, too tall. The body was stretched too thin, skin clinging tight over the bones like it had forgotten how flesh is supposed to sit. Its head was wrong. Antlers branching outward like it was growing through the scalp instead of from it. Its mouth hung open, jaw unhinged, slightly teeth, human and animal all at once. But its eyes, the eyes were familiar. But not because I recognized it, but because it recognized me. It smiled. And in my voice, perfectly this time, it says, "You smell like you'll last the winter." I don't remember running. All I remember is waking up miles from the road, truck running, hands bleeding, engine warm as if it had never died at all. The cabin was gone when authorities went back with me. No debris, no foundation, just snow and trees like it had never existed. They say hypothermia can cause hallucination. Stress can warp perception. Maybe. But sometimes, late at night, when the air gets still, I hear my name again, coming from somewhere just beyond the tree lines. And it sounds closer every year. That was crazy. That was a creepy story. It sounds like he came in contact with a Wendigo. I don't know if you guys know what a Wendigo is, but apparently people can become Wendigos. Like when you come in contact with a Wendigo, you can become one. Even though you're in human form, you can actually become one. And then apparently, if you are a Wendigo, the only thing that can ever quench your thirst and hunger is eating other humans. So I don't know this to be true, but that's what I have read about Wendigos. And apparently in rural areas and like, Appalachian Mountain, and also, in the mountains, in the bushes somewhere, you could probably come across a Wendigo. I don't know if it's very popular in America, but Wendigos, it sounds very much like a Wendigo and or a mimic, because it was mimicking his brother. So it could be like a cross between Wendigo and or a mimic or skinwalker or whatever, but it sounds very, very interesting. And the fact that it was mimicking his brother that lives so far away, because why aren't you mimicking me? Why are you mimicking my brother who's not even there? Well, I guess it does make sense, because if you hear your brother, you'll want to open the door for your brother in the middle of the night. But if I'm far away from my brother in the middle of the night, out of nowhere, how do you even know that I'm here, first of all, right? Unless he told him, hey, I'm going on a job. But that was a very interesting story. Let me know what you guys think about it, and let's get into the next story.